Welcome to the Women's Business Center at Cornerstone Alliance's Business Plan Certified, proudly sponsored by Stearns Bank. During this series, you'll gain tools to help you launch or grow your small business. Now, let's begin.
I want to give you a little bit of background on my experience with small businesses. So several years ago, I started working as a yoga instructor for a small business, and they were really needing help with their marketing strategies. And so in addition to teaching yoga classes there, I also really helped them get their business out in front of everybody and help with those marketing strategies. But it gave me a glimpse behind the curtain of everything that goes into running a small business from a marketing side. And that is amazing. The level of just dedication that really goes into persevering through ups and downs. So I absolutely applaud each of you for taking on this adventure of opening a business, or if you already have a business that's open, it's absolutely incredible. And so with getting to work with this studio and help with marketing, this really kind of ignited my passion. And so I took my background in sales and marketing, and this is really where I started to come in as a Thrive ambassador so that I can help business owners like each of you really gain additional knowledge on sales and marketing. And I am just so excited to be able to be here with each of you today. And I look forward to teaching you, hopefully something that you don't already know. And I'm going to pass things off to Tim.
Well, hey, good morning, everybody. My name is Tim Ramos. How's it going?
What was your name?
Carrie.
And a little bit about me. As a former small business owner, I come with about 20 to 25 years of experience in customer service, marketing, strategy. And one of my biggest passions for even working with the Thrive Foundation is I personally know what it feels like to compete against other bigger businesses. I know what it feels like to not necessarily have the marketing budget, not necessarily to have the employees, maybe the infrastructure that some of those bigger businesses have, but you still want to win. I know what it feels like to maybe have a dollar and a dream, or in my case, maybe a quarter and a dream, right? And so part of my passion is that I want to see all small to medium-sized businesses win. And so being able to be a part of this foundation, I want to be able to provide my experience that I have and provide techniques and things that I feel like will help give you all a competitive advantage to help you compete without some of the things that other businesses have. And so hopefully when we talk today, we can go over some things that will help you build your confidence, will help you to potentially automate some things in your business that will set you up for greater success. And so that is why I am here today. So I'm glad that you all have us here today. And I'm just grateful for the opportunity and even for the Q&A that'll take place at the end where we can just kind of connect. And at the end of the day, you started your businesses because you had a dream that you want to accomplish. And I know that being a business owner is not easy. That being a business owner, there is no 9 to 5. You probably all work 32 hours a day. And so to help you save time in your day, spend more time with your families, increase revenue, and really set out to do what you want to do, hopefully we can teach something that will help you make that load a little lighter and realize the dreams that you all have. So that's a little bit about me. Okay. And so with that being said, we have 2 portions that we will start to teach on today. And part of that's going to be sales. And the other part that Carrie will talk on is going to be the marketing part. So I'll go first. Everybody up? Everybody had coffee this morning? You feeling good?
Highly caffeinated.
I had, is it Forte coffee across the street? I have to give them a shout out. That is some of the best coffee that I have had. Let's go ahead and get started. So part of our agenda today for myself, sales strategy. We're going to talk about an introduction to sales strategy, A sales strategy overview, sales process and customer journey, sales team and sales tactics, work breaks, examples and case studies, and then Q&A wrap up. So as we get started on the introduction to sales strategy. So the definition, I always like to break it down as we get started. So the definition is a sales strategy refers to the methods used by a business to convert prospects into paying customers and maximize their lifetime value. And the goal is to build a clear, structured sales process to move customers through the buying journey and achieve consistent revenue growth. So just as we look at that, one thing that I like to look at is you may have, as a business owner, you may have people that visit your website or come into your business. One of my goals is how do we convert that into a sale? If we take ourselves out of the business owner hats that we wear, I go to websites all of the time and I see something that catches my eye and I leave. For owners, you want people to visit your business, you want people to visit your website, and ultimately, cha-ching, you want them to spend with your business because you have a great product that you believe in or you have a great service that you provide to them. So we're going to talk about some things along the way, and hopefully it will help make things easier for those clients to stick, and ultimately not stick just one time. We want them to be continual customers and be able to tell people about your service or your product and continue to get that word of mouth out there. So the goal, convert leads into paying customers by nurturing them through the sales process. By a show of hands, how many of you would say that within your sales process, wherever you are in your business, that you can identify that you have a gap within your sales process? That's good, right? That's a good problem to know that you have. And here's a fact. If we were to talk to the CEO of Amazon today, they would raise their hand with the same. There's no company around that does not have a gap within the sales process, no matter how much money or revenue that you're bringing in. So I think the first thing as a business owner, no matter where you are in your process, is there's going to always be an opportunity to streamline your sales process. So we will talk about this a little more in depth, but I wanted to kind of paint that picture first that none of this is bad. This is all just, okay, here is where we are. Let's figure out how to identify that. Let's be honest about it, and let's figure out how to fix it. And there is no one-time fix. There is always fixing. As you grow, as you offer additional products, as you have additional employees, as you continue to grow, there's always going to be a gap. But as the owner, that falls on you to realize that and work on fixing those things. Let's talk about three key sales tactics. One, direct sales. Engage customers directly via digital platforms or physical presence. So if you have a business where people are walking in to your business, you're engaging with them on a one-on-one level, whether that be you yourself, whether that be your employees. That is an opportunity to build key relationships with each interaction that you have with the client. So whether that be, are you nice? Do you have the right information out as far as your business? Those are key tactics. Digital platforms, social media. What are you putting out there? And Carrie will talk about some more of this from the marketing standpoint, but what is the brand? What is the idea? What is the picture that is going out as it pertains to your business? All of these things are vitally important. From a social media standpoint, if you offer a product, one thing that burns me up personally, just as a consumer, I don't like blurry pictures. Is anybody else like that? If it's blurry, do I have any Zoomers, people who zoom in on pictures to kind of see, like, I need a little more detail. And when it's blurry, it's like, you know what? I'm not buying this. You know, I've heard like my wife, she'll buy something online. You know, I bought this from such and such company. I hear some laughing because we know where it's going. I bought it in a certain size. When it gets to me, it's a completely different size. That's not building the trust. And so even though that's a funny example where that may have happened to a lot of us in this room, but as a business owner, in my opinion, that's not good business as far as an interaction. If I buy something that is a large, I really would like for it to be a large once it gets to my house. And I think that's just good business. Don't sell me a large and then put a disclaimer. It may be a double XL or it may be a small by the time it gets to your house. Let me know that up front so I know not to buy it. Upselling and cross-selling. Encourage higher value purchases. I notice for a lot of websites that I go to, and I think this is where this can benefit you all if you do have a website. And if not, I think for the products that you may offer or your services, it's always good to have a website. You always see related products at the bottom of a website. I think that as you have people that are interested in your products, it's always good to have upselling and cross-selling opportunities that, hey, if you like product A, these are some additional products that you may also like. When someone visits your website and you have them interested in any type of product, show them additional things. It is our obligation as business owners to not create the one and done effect, as I like to call it. If you offer multiple products, give that client or that customer the opportunity to really shop around and see additional things that you offer. I am one of the people that when I go to stores, I get caught up in the end caps. I go in there for one thing and I see something very cool on an end cap. And I end up with 7 or 8 different things that, and I'll be honest with you all, I don't know if I really need those things that are on the end cap. I probably don't need those things on the end cap, but I buy them. Anybody else like that? So, yeah, right. So think about this as a business owner. What if people are buying things off of your end cap or related products, even if they don't need them? It's revenue. You have a great product. Let people buy off of your end cap, especially if they're great products. But the upselling and cross-selling, as you have products of value, you want to be able to put that out in front of them so that they can take advantage of those. Retention strategy. I think this one is very, very, very important. Here's what I love. When I buy a product from, let's say, Bath and Body Works. Do I have any candle lovers? I see the hands going up. You know, you get the candle sales, the annual sales where they're like $8.95, $9.95. Or have you noticed every time? I see it. Have you noticed every time you go there, they tell you, hey, put your email address in. And no matter how many times you shop there, they ask you to put your email address in, and then you start getting more and more emails from them. Now, sometimes they may get to be a lot, but somehow you end up going back in there. Oh, you know what? I need more wallflowers. Oh man, I just ran out of soap. They're doing 5 for $24. Ask me how I know. Me and my wife just went in there and bought a lot of soap, right? But these are practical things, but this is a follow-up email. It's a different format of it, but it is a follow-up email. It's also tying into loyalty emails. And I'm going to read an example of a follow-up email that I created that I think is a good idea of something that may be good for your business. It may not, but it's a good thing that I think that you can send people once they purchase a product, once they do business with you. And I think that it tells people that you appreciate them, and it keeps your business front of mind with them. But loyalty programs, people like to feel special when they do business with you. I know I do. I love when I go out to eat and I give my email and they say, thank you, come back. get 10% if you come back now. Or, oh, we heard it's your birthday. Come back for a free appetizer. I like free appetizers. I may not come back until it is my birthday or come back and get the free key lime pie or the cheesecake. But you know what? Had I not received that email, I wouldn't have come back that whole year. But when we look at it as business owners, that is a way to get me back in the door. And if that meal is amazing, I'll be back again before my birthday. So when we look at those opportunities, that it sounds simple, but as a business owner, we have to keep it front of mind that we have to be intentional about how do we reach out to those clients that have patronized us. And ongoing promotions. Let me read this email really quick that we have on here. And this is just an example. So let's say that I purchased a product from one of your businesses, right? And so I received this email and it says, "Thank you for your purchase. We'd love to see you again. Hi, Tim. I just wanted to personally thank you for your recent purchase with us. We truly appreciate your business. It was a pleasure serving you, and we hope you're enjoying your new product. If you have any questions or need support, don't hesitate to reach out. We're always here to help. We'd also love to welcome you back soon. Keep an eye out for upcoming promotions and new arrivals that we think you'll love. Or if you're ready to explore more of what we offer, feel free to browse our latest collection." And we put the link on the website. "As a thank you, please use coupon code ... and save 10% on your next order, good for the next 30 days. I don't want to leave it open-ended where you can shop next Christmas. I want you back soon. Thanks again for choosing us. Warm regards, business owner." So something simple like that, it makes me feel special because I could have spent my hard-earned money anywhere, but I chose to spend it with you. And now I also feel like I'm getting something back, and everyone loves a good deal. So we don't look at the fact that the product may be $150 or $300. I am looking at the fact that, ooh, I may get 10% off. And so as a business owner, you're looking at your own profit margins, A, B, and C, but 10% off, they may buy 2 products on there. So I wanted to share that. So as you look at this, just some examples from the Starliner food truck and even the Steam Team car wash. The biggest thing that you want to look at on there is to get the job, do the job, get paid, and get credit for the job. So these are based on examples that you all are using. And one of the things that I really wanted to point out on here, customers like convenience. I will always say that customers like convenience. Be easy to do business with and collect payments. I think that is key in business. I will say this, in my everyday 9-to-5 job, I talk to people all day long. So when I get off work, I don't really like talking. And that's okay. Some of you, I hear the chuckles. You may not want to talk as much when you get off. So you know what I like? I like shopping on websites where they may have a live chat feature, or they have the product that I am looking for where I can just go and check out. So I'm not every person in the world, but that process works for me. Make it easy. Make it where I can go and click and buy whatever product it is. If I'm buying vitamins, if I'm buying shampoo, because I love supporting local businesses. Even when Chrissy and I were talking, I love supporting local venues, the whole nine. I've always been that way. So I like being where it's easy to do business with. Let me put my card in. Let me find the product that I like. Tell me how much shipping is. It's easy. I can love your business and never talk to you. Now, some businesses, I realize I have to go in and talk to you. You know, if I'm getting my car done or different things like that, I get that. Those businesses are great. And so I have to talk to you because I have to take off from my 9 to 5 to do that. But for the ones that I don't, you know, whether I'm buying different teas or whatever it is, you know, just be easy to do business with. So that's my takeaway from that one. And a couple of additional things. So even on the examples, these are some examples from Steam Team. From the sales team setup, one example would be for Starliner, no formal sales team, but a customer-focused approach. And then the difference for Steam Team would be a commissioned salesperson to pursue business contracts. Sales activities would include networking events, trade shows, customer follow-ups, and referrals. Here's what I would say as far as a business owner. It's very hard when you're out here trying to run a business, and sometimes by yourself, you're wearing 21 different hats. Find a way to put on hat number 22 and find a way to meet some friends. Now, here's what I'm going to say as a part of what we're going to talk about, even in the marketing. Part of the goal is we want to find a way to help make some of the additional hats not as time consuming, so that you will have time to network and meet additional people. So I don't want to say, yeah, just add 4 more hats and make your life that much harder. We want to help automate some things in your business so that you will have more time to do some of the things that you want to do and that you love. And so here we are. We're going to go on a work break. So here's what I would like for you all to do. So we're going to do an activity, individual work. So what I would like is for you to reflect on your sales strategies and consider how they align with your business goals. So I want you to take a second and really think about that. And here's some questions for reflection that I'd like you to think about. 1, are my sales efforts converting prospects into paying customers effectively? 2, how could I improve my sales process for better lead nurturing? And 3, how can I maintain customer loyalty after the initial sales? And lastly, here's the outcome. We may take a couple, but prepare to share one key insight or idea that you can apply after the session. So really quick, I'd like to take about 5 minutes where you all are just taking a second to think about those. And then we'll come, you can stay here, but then we'll start right back up. And then we'll move on to the next part. But I really want you thinking about those. Let's go over the summary of the sales strategy. So here's some key takeaways that I would like for you all to focus on is focus on nurturing leads, offering value, and maintaining customer loyalty. I think customer loyalty goes a long way. I think that in the world of you can just go to certain platforms and just find people left and right, I think that's amazing. I think that is needed. I think there is a market for that. But things sometimes can be microwave where you just go find people left and right and all that. But you need the people that are going to be the brick and mortar of your business that are going to shop and support no matter what. And I think that is how you build the loyalty and how you keep in communication with them. And as a business owner, it can't just be every time they come into your building or every time they just come to your website. It's going to take more because this day and age is easier to be forgotten about than it is easier to be remembered. Implement upselling and cross-selling techniques. Once people are there, as you're developing and coming up with new products and concepts and things of that nature, how are you getting that out to those loyal clients, to those new clients? How are you getting that out there? So be thinking about that always. And you may not have a new product every week, every month. That's okay. But you take time and you create something, or you build something, or you have a service that's going to be of meaning, that's going to be meaningful, that's going to be of value. And once you're ready to release that, you do that and you make it the best that it can be. Rome was not built in a day. So it's okay if it takes you a year to come up with a new product. And last, and I'll turn this over to Carrie, experiment with different pricing strategies and loyalty programs. The last thing I'll finish with that is, as much as you're in business to, depending on your service, to help people, which is always a great thing, you also have bills. You also have overhead. And so I think it's also healthy to go back and revisit, what does your profit margin look like? The prices of different things that, you may have to get from different vendors, it may have gone up. And, unfortunately, you may not be able to keep that same price as much as you would like to. And as much as you may think that may upset some of your clients, I think in some cases, you be upfront with them and let them know the prices have gone up. So we have to do a little bit of an increase in our pricing, but the ones, it goes back to the loyalty, the ones that know that you offer a great product or a service, they'll continue to be there with you. So you look at the different pricing strategies of how you charge, and look at loyalties, look at tiers. How does somebody get to be a VIP client with you? How does somebody get to be a bronze level or silver level or, a gold level? So think about those things as you're writing down those ideas. So that's my takeaway as far as sales. And I'll turn it over to Carrie.
Perfect. Thank you. All right, so we are going to move into the marketing segment of today. And what we have on the agenda for our marketing segment is an introduction to marketing strategy. We're going to talk about some of those major components of your marketing plan. We're going to talk about attracting customers and some of those marketing tactics that you're seeing within the businesses in your live plan. We're going to review marketing message and unique value proposition. We'll talk about distribution and pricing plans and what those are and why it's important. We'll review marketing and sales metrics. We'll take a quick work break, and then we'll come back for key takeaways and a Q&A, and then we'll break for lunch. Does that sound like a plan? Excellent. So what is a marketing strategy? What are marketing strategies, right? Marketing strategies are going to be methods that a business uses to really promote their products and services, okay? This is to drive excitement. This is to drive awareness and engagement in sales. But what I want you to remember is that your marketing strategies aren't just for bringing brand new customers in. They're also to help with retaining customers. And if you're taking notes here, I want you to write this piece down. Acquisition plus retention equals growth. Okay, we can't have people that are coming in the front door and then walking out the back door. We have to have acquisition and retention. And that can be accomplished through successful marketing strategies.
Could you repeat that?
Yeah, absolutely. Acquisition plus retention equals growth. Acquisition plus retention equals growth. We can't have them coming in the front door and exiting out the back door, or we're just going to be running in place, essentially. We have to have both, okay? And we're going to use marketing strategies to help us achieve that. Now, there's going to be several major components that you want to incorporate in your marketing plan. So that's going to be branding and positioning, okay? Advertising, my favorite, promotions, because I love a good sale, a little extra added value. Social media and online presence, SEO and content marketing, and partnerships, okay? And I know there are a few of you taking screenshots here. We're gonna go ahead, we're gonna dive into each of these a little bit more. Now, let's talk about branding and positioning. So yes, this is the foundation of your business. And I would highly encourage you to go ahead and start solidifying that foundation of your brand image. Okay? This is really creating an identity for your brand so that you're ready to go out and tell the world about it. And there's going to be 3 key elements of your brand identity that we want to incorporate. That's going to be your logo, your brand message, and your value proposition. Now, when we think about logos, I want to pass this off to everybody. When you think about logos out in the real world, outside of this room, what are some logos that instantly come to mind? Okay, I agree. Nike, Coca-Cola, what else?
Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A. Yeah, these logos are familiar. It provides brand recognition instantly. And that's the same concept that you want to take with your business. So we want to have a logo or a well-designed image or photo so that when people see your logo, they instantly think about your brand and is reminded of it. Now, for our brand message, this is going to be a very clear and concise statement here that really communicates to your audience who you are, what you stand for, the experience that they may receive with you, and it's your promise to your customers. And then we have value proposition. This is what sets you apart. It's why someone should choose you over a competitor. And it's really the benefit that you're going to give to them for choosing you. And so we want to make sure that we have all 3 of these components really solidified so that we have a strong foundation and we are ready to go ahead and start advertising from there. And with advertising, there's going to be 3 types of advertising that we're going to focus on today. Digital advertising, physical advertising, and experiential advertising. Now, starting with digital advertising, I want you to think Google ads, social media ads, right? Maybe on Facebook or Instagram. And then even display ads on websites as well. And these paid ads, they're targeted to a group of people that have a specific interest or it's based off of their search habits as well. Now, in addition to paid digital advertising, there's also a way to advertise digitally in an organic way. And a really excellent way to do that is through social media and having a strong social presence. But we'll dive into that here shortly. Now, physical advertising. I want you to think business cards, okay? Maybe you have a sign with your business on it in a park. Maybe you have a spot in a magazine. Physical advertising is extremely beneficial to reach a large audience, specifically within a community, okay? And then we have experiential advertising. For this one, I want you to think pop-up shops, grand openings. Those are exciting. It creates a memory, and it allows the business owner and the consumer to be able to connect and interact with each other. And when you have that connection with your customers and your potential customers, those are the kind of things that build those relationships and that rapport and keeps people wanting to come back to you and even recommend you. So when we're incorporating advertising into our marketing strategy, we want to make sure that we absolutely have digital and physical advertising so that we're well-rounded, and then incorporating experiential advertising where we can. Now, like I said, promotions, this one just might be my favorite piece of a marketing strategy. That's going to incorporate special offers, loyalty programs, and events. Now, again, out in the real world, as consumers, what are some promotions that we've recently taken advantage of?
Filing taxes early, getting a discount.
Okay, yes, that's an excellent one. Any other ones?
Any type of loyalty program where I frequently spend my money, I try to definitely take advantage.
Starbucks, right?
Those 2
Getting
bullet
those,
points.
yes. So we see these promotions out in the everyday world and they get you excited to buy now. And that is the intent behind a promotion, to not wait, to get excited and to buy now. So when we talk about special offers, these are going to be temporary deals like your seasonal sales, your product bundles. Maybe it is a 15% off coupon for a first purchase with your business. It's incentivizing you to not wait, to purchase now. Now we have loyalty programs as well. This is kind of like Starbucks, where maybe you're scanning your app and getting points, or maybe you have a card and each time you're purchasing from that business, you're getting a stamp. And with this, loyalty programs, the intention behind them is to really reward your repeat customers and incentivize them to keep coming back and to keep purchasing with you. And then we have events. And again, this is about creating an experience for your business owners or for your customers. And this could be a grand opening where you have promotions happening. This could be a product launch that you're offering a discount on to really gain excitement. This could be a webinar or even going live on social media. It's an opportunity for you to interact and gain excitement with your brand. And so we also want to make sure that we are very well-rounded in the promotions that we're offering. Now, social media. Social media is a tool that we must take advantage of. Okay, we live in a very social world. Who here is on social media in your personal life? Absolutely. So there's going to be 3 tips that we really want to follow when we focus on social media. It's going to be platform, engagement, and content. Now with platforms, I want you to think about your target audience and what platform they might be on, okay? What time of day they might be looking at social media, because timing is a factor as well too when we're looking to gain visibility. Now engagement, this is key with social media. Social media is all about building a connection, driving engagement. So if you have somebody that is interacting with you on social media, they're sending you a message, they're liking your content, they're commenting on it, they're leaving you a review. It is so important to make sure that we are responding and interacting back promptly. When we interact with a business and they respond back and they engage back with us, it makes you feel important. It doesn't make you just feel like another customer. We want to make our customers feel like they are somebody to us. So engagement is key here. Now, with content, you may be thinking, okay, all this is great, but what do I post, right? There's only so many ideas you can come up with. So with that, we want to make sure that we're being relevant with our posts, and we don't always want to have a whole list of social media content that is call to actions, such as call now, buy now, because what if somebody doesn't need the product right now, right? They're going to skip on past it. So we want to make sure that, yes, that's okay sometimes, but the majority of our content drives conversation and drives engagement, okay? And the more engagement and interactions we get, the more exposure we get on social media. So if you don't know what to post, I want to ask everybody a question. Who here has used AI before? Okay, so we're pretty familiar with it then. Leverage this. There is so much happening during the day that we don't always have time to dedicate to thinking about, what we're going to post. I don't know if anybody's ever gone through their day and they're like, what in the world just happened today? I was so busy. I can't think about what I'm going to cook for dinner, much less what social post am I going to make, right? So you could use AI, and I'll use a clothing boutique as an example. You could say into maybe ChatGPT, or there's some other different popular AIs right now as well. You could say, I am a women's clothing boutique. Please write me a Facebook post for a spring sale where I am offering 15% off. Please include hashtags and emojis because we want that post to be visually appealing and reach a larger audience. See what that output is. You can take it as is, or you can use it as inspiration, but it helps take some of that brain power out of coming up with what to post to drive engagement. Now, the other tip that I like to use is a coach, creator, or curious approach. Okay, so I'm going to use a clothing store as an example again for you. So if it is a creator post, this could be your new product. This could be behind the scenes. It has a creative aspect to it. Now, if we have a curious approach, we're asking a question. This could be, what is your favorite spring trend for 2025? Or maybe we want to just drive conversation and say, what's your favorite fashion trend from the 80s or 90s, right? That's going to get people talking and interacting. It's not asking them to buy now, it's asking them to interact with you. And then the coach approach could be how to style dark wash jeans, right? Something that's teaching them how to do something, coaching them. So if you're writing that down, that's coach, creator, or curious. And the intent behind this is for your viewers on social media to take action and to start conversation.
What was the last word? Coach, approach?
Coach, creator, and curious. And what I want to leave you with in terms of social media is consistency is key. You're going to have posts that don't work, right? That's just how social media works. And then you're going to have some and you're going to strike gold with it. And you're going to look at that post and say, what worked well? And now you're going to repeat the process. It also takes consistency to build up that visibility. So if you're not seeing instant results, do not get discouraged. Consistency is key. Now, SEO and content marketing, these are excellent ways to really boost your visibility on search engines. So SEO, or search engine optimization, is a way to optimize your website to increase your visibility on search engines based off of keywords that are relevant to your business, okay? And then when we talk about content marketing, this is going to be a way to really drive traffic to your website naturally, okay? So you could create a blog post. It could be a YouTube video, something that has a creative aspect to it that naturally makes people gravitate towards your site.
Do you have to pay for the search engine optimization?
There are ways that you can pay for SEO that would help you with your ranking, but there also are ways that organically, when your website is being built, to embed keywords and meta tags to kind of help with that natural SEO as well.
How do we find out how to do that, or what to do with that?
So we'll provide some more information and we can provide follow-up. There is a lot to SEO, but we're going to provide contact information. So if anybody has additional questions or we need to dive in further, we'll absolutely make sure that we're in contact with you. And so lastly, the last component of our marketing strategy is going to be partnerships. This is really allowing you to tap into an audience that you wouldn't otherwise be able to access. So we have strategic partnerships and co-branding opportunities. So strategic partnerships, this is going to be where you work with other brands, influencers, ambassadors, or other businesses that really complement yours so that you're helping reach a larger audience. And then similarly, co-branding, this is where two brands work together on a single marketing campaign to attract both of their customer bases and increase exposure for both businesses. Now, I want to take a look at some of the examples that are going to be familiar within your live plan with Starliner Food Truck and Steam Team Car Wash in terms of what they're doing for marketing. So if we take a look at Starliner Food Truck, they're currently using social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and they have over 500 subscribers and they are growing weekly. They're also focusing on local exposure, street food apps, coupon giveaways, and they're also doing a university collaboration. They have customer reviews where they're focusing on Yelp ratings and customer feedback. And then they also have that physical advertising where they're focusing in on signage, university partnerships, and physical flyers. And then a little bit different, we have Steam Team Car Wash, and they have local signage. They're focusing on a loyalty program, which is a multi-vendor swipe card for customer retention. And then they have social media discounts to really build customer trust. And then they're experimenting with Google Ads and event sponsorship. So this should look familiar in your live plan. Now let's talk about marketing message and unique value proposition. I want you to think about really who your target audience is, and out of what you do, what would be most important to them? What are they going to think truly sets you apart? I want you to tap into that, okay? And it's really why they should pick you over a competitor. Now, sometimes it's difficult to come up with, well, what is it that makes me unique, right? I want you to reflect back on your why. Why did you get started with this business? What was it that you wanted to deliver to the world? What is it that you are passionate about? Tap into that piece and use that to put into your unique value proposition. I also want you to think about the experience that you're providing. You may offer a similar service as someone else, but I can promise you that your experience that you're delivering is unique to you. So tap into that piece too. And over time, you'll learn what makes you unique. It is okay to not have it fully figured out right at this very moment. Okay, so let's take a look at an example here. And what this is going to be is your unique value proposition, that customer promise, so that brand message, our promise to our customers, okay? And then what that pitch could sound like. So for example, for Starliner Food Truck, healthy urban cuisine with a sustainable twist, right? We're saying what that promise is and what sets them apart. And then Steam Team Car Wash, the ultimate clean with eco-friendly steam technology. You have that promise in there, and then what is setting them apart. Now, distribution and pricing plans. When we talk about distribution, this is how your customers will access your product or your service. So I want you to think back to who your target audience is and where they are most likely to buy, okay? And then pricing is very important too, because this doesn't just impact your sales, this also impacts how your customers perceive your service or your product, okay? So to give you an example from Starliner Food Truck, their distribution is on the go, at food truck locations, and via the custom website for pre-ordering. Now their pricing is $7 to $9 for entrees, $3 to $5 for sides. Now Steam Team Car Wash, their distribution and their pricing is a bit different. So the distribution of their service is walk-in and mobile services. They target both individual customers and local businesses. Now their pricing, they have premium pricing for eco-friendly steam clean and business contracts that are $300 to $500 a month. They have online ordering and in-person sales for this. Now, it's so important that we are tracking our business and to see what is successful, right? We want to know what is working and what is not working, so that we can make adjustments as needed. So there's going to be some important KPIs that we track as we're moving along through our business. So website traffic, social media engagement. We want to make sure that we are tracking our customer acquisition cost, our customer lifetime value, our conversion rates, so how many leads are we converting into actual sales, actual revenue, and our repeat customer rate. As we talked about, acquisition plus retention is what equals growth here. Okay, and then as examples for Starliner and Steam Team, they're focusing on, in Starliner, growth in email subscribers, Yelp reviews, and repeat customers. And then Steam Team is working on increased loyalty card signups and business-to-business contracts. Now, we are going to take another 5-minute work break here. All right?
What is KPI?
Key performance indicator. Good question. So for this activity, you're going to be able to review your current marketing budget and prioritize strategies based on expected return or investment. Now, for the group work, if applicable, if you want to work with a friend, you can collaborate with others on brainstorming cost-effective marketing strategies for a new product or service. Now, as we're going through this, some questions for reflection. Which marketing tactics have delivered the best ROI for my business and how can I scale them? What marketing channel or tactics should I cut or refine to reduce cost? If you are a startup, what are the most affordable ways to build brand awareness on a limited budget? Or if you are already established as a business, how can I leverage partnerships to expand my reach without a significant investment? And then when we come back, we'll take a minute or two to share any kind of insights or adjustments to your plans in terms of your marketing approach. What other questions do we have?
The other thing I would tell you guys to think about that we didn't go over in here, but we did go over it in previous. So remember we were talking about competition, external environment, those kind of aspects, like what are you living in today? What are we all hearing about in the news every day? The economy, our dollars, our spending, etc. Promotions are super fantastic right now. So if you haven't started pricing something, adjust your pricing a little bit higher if you need to and promote the heck out of it. So people mentality is I want a deal, I need a deal, my dollars are not going far enough. So think about that mental state of where we are today as you're building this out. Some of that will change, hopefully. Yes, it will change. And when that does, then you'll pivot and you adjust and you do so forth. But right now, everybody's thinking about how to spend their dollars if they have enough dollars, etc. And that isn't just, one kind of class. That's going to be varied throughout, just because it's so prevalent in everybody's mind. They're being pounded with it.
I'm sorry. My question is to pivot back to what she said about the hashtag. That's not a question I would never think to ask, but it was great. And I still don't understand your answer because I never used it and I've seen it. So I'm trying to understand. So for example, let's say I was writing a book and I wanted to get promoted, the book to get promoted on social media. Would I put hashtag in the name of the book? Something like that? Or
You can. I've seen people where they put that. I've seen people where they put hashtag New York NYT bestseller, or
Okay.
you can look at that. So as people who are very interested in reading, they may decide, okay, what's on the bestsellers list? So they will search for that hashtag.
Okay.
And somewhere along the way, if it's Instagram, let's just say, your posts would show up. When I was getting married, my wife, she was looking for a makeup artist.
Okay.
So, and we're from Atlanta, so she did a hashtag of ATL MUA. Or
Okay.
so a list of all the makeup artists who use their hashtags with their different works came up on this explore page, right?
Okay.
And so from there, she was able to just go through, start looking, see what she liked, reached out, contacted those. So I think you can get creative, and to what Carrie said, you don't want to use like 100 hashtags, but you may start with all of your posts. It might be a hashtag with the name of your book, along with the bestseller, along with you start
An overarching category as well that would be more commonly searched.
Okay.
It might even just be timely, It's like, are you Chandra with fashion, and it's fall time frame, you know, she might just do hashtag fall fashion because that's what people are searching, that's what they're looking for. So kind of keeping your mind to what might be, like they said, a broader topic, but that you could fit under.
Like, it was a book that said hashtag murder mystery. Like, people come on there looking for murder mysteries, like, I want a new book to read. And so people may look under that hashtag, and if you're on Instagram, it may show how many people are using that post. It might say like 8.4 million. So you might say, oh, a lot of people are using this hashtag and looking. I'm gonna start putting those, if that's the type of category my book is in, to get it found.
As you start typing, the hashtags pop up. I do know this much. They pop up, and so if you say female writers and you start typing that in, all the hashtags with female writers will pop up, and it'll tell you how many people are looking at it. So it'll kind of guide you.
Okay.
Just play with it.
Okay. All right.
I saw, and then I have you next. Go ahead.
So can you maybe shed a little light on the marketing strategy of when product-based businesses like I Sell Jewelry use drops, or like, oh, we have a scheduled drop next Saturday and there's a limited time to shop, and I think they are just trying to play into the FOMO, but I'm always like, do I really want to take all of my products down off of my website and only offer them during this specific time? Is it more about like just disciplining yourself to like have that website updated at a time? But I know a lot of artists that I follow, even like visual artists and painters, like I feel the FOMO when I'm like, oh shoot, I wanted one of those limited prints and I didn't get it. Now I have to wait until next month. But I don't know, just as a general, what do you think of that sales strategy?
So I have two opinions on it, okay? So yes, you could make edits so that you are having everything that is dropping and really having excitement and then having a sellout to it.
Yeah.
But if you're not wanting to do that, I would really drive the promotion around it and the excitement of these are going to be limited time offered, and really encourage people to buy now, even if it's going to go past a little further of it's selling out. Just really hyping up that product.
Okay.
Yeah, so relating back to the hashtags, for those of us with physical services, we need people locally to come to us. I'm not trying to tag, like, I can say physical therapy or personal training, and that'll show up to someone in California. But how do and then I could also say like St. Joseph or Stevensville, but I'm not trying to hit people that are searching for things around town. I'm looking for people that need my service, but also locally. Combining those hashtags works. I mean, I know like you can like also put a location on your post, but does that mean that someone locally is gonna see my local posting before they see like a national one? How does that all work?
It's not necessarily going to make it more visible to somebody locally. I absolutely encourage geotagging, right? But I would still have the combination of both of those hashtags, and not combine them, but have two separate. Because even though you may have somebody searching for physical therapy that's not in your location, they're going to see that post. They're not just seeing the hashtags. And so when they then see your post, they're going to see that city that you've either geotagged or hashtagged along with it. And then maybe you do combine them, right? There's no harm in that. Just don't go crazy with it. But it's not necessarily going to push you higher to more locals. It's a way of just increasing exposure all around.
Well, can you guys give another round of applause for our
Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time for more strategies to empower your business success.